We come back to House the Dragon, and I rated this quite a bit lower than the last episode. The time skip issues this time were even worse. About 10 years or so have passed in between episodes, with very mixed results. Teenage Leonor has been replaced by a better actor, thank God. Hopefully the young lad from last episode has been catapulted bodily through one of the windows at the Royal Academy of the Dramatic Arts. Sadly, teenage Alicent has also been replaced, and so far I don't much like what Olivia Cooke has done. I really liked Emily Carey. The characterisations are very different, but a lot can be hidden in a time skip. People can change a lot in 10 years. It's something that Star Wars original trilogy did very well. So here's the princess before and after the 10 years. Here's Alicent before and after the 10 years. Paddy Considine has had a load of makeup put on to age him, and here's him before and after the 10 years. They did quite a good job. Here's Matt Smith before and after, and here's Kristen Cole before and after. They age some characters a lot, yet others look exactly the same as 10 years ago. Paddy Considine is now ancient, and Matt Smith is Peter Pan apparently, as he looks exactly the same. Then there's the paternity problem. So in 10 years, the princess has had 3 kids. Her husband is gay, and apparently gay enough that none of the kids are his. He couldn't even pretend for a night. Get drunk and close his eyes, no. Okay, they're instead this man's children, Harwin Strong. Now in the source material, there were rumours about the children's paternity, because they all had black hair instead of the Targaryen silver. But by race swapping the Valerians, they've made it so much worse. In the source material, the Valerians were white. Now in universe, people are suspicious because of the hair colour, but they made the Valerians black in the series. So now in universe, everyone is supposed to believe that not only do the children have a suspicious hair colour, they also have the wrong skin colour if Leonor is supposed to be the father. This is just untenable. You couldn't find someone else to race swap that wasn't part of a paternity controversy in the story. People tend to notice when a baby comes out the wrong skin colour. You could have had Sir Kristen Cole, played by a black actor, without running into this issue head first. Just nobody's going to buy this. Look at Damon's kids with Lena in comparison. Lena, who also inconveniently seems to change skin colour and features every time they change the actress during time skips. I don't know, maybe Pentos is just rarely sunny and she got a tan. Here we have Nova Fuele-Mose, Savannah Stein and Nana Blondell that all play the same character at different ages. I was quite enjoying Savannah Stein. Notice the large and very kissable lips. But she aged 10 years and her lips seem to have shrunk. She seems to have exchanged them for cheekbones that can cut glass. They could have at least got 3 black actresses that look something like each other. It gets worse when you stand Damon's kids next to the princesses. In this universe, how are people going to see this group of kids and this group of kids and think that they have similar ancestry, which they should? Everybody's going to know immediately. It gets worse as the Valerians under Steve Toussaint have been written consistently as very belligerent. So how are they going to react when a baby popped out of the princess and it's obviously not related to their son who's supposed to be the father? It would have been war. The writers could have made the High Towers black with far less issues than the Valerians present. The group they chose to race swap is the most disruptive to the plot they could have possibly chosen. How did they not think this through? Who greenlit this idea? This is the silliest choice and the biggest misstep of the series so far. There's also the problem that the world in House of the Dragon feels very small compared to the world in Game of Thrones. Almost everything in the show happens in King's Landing. And I preferred how Game of Thrones cut from place to place. You had scenes at the Wall, scenes in Dawn, the Dothraki Sea. In House of the Dragon, the action is very rushed, and almost everything happens in the royal palace. I never get a feel of what the life of the ordinary citizen is like compared to Game of Thrones. And this show misses the rich cast and the beautiful varied landscapes that Game of Thrones had. Think of just the characters from Winterfell in Game of Thrones. Sir Roderick, Maester Luwin, the Starks, Hodor, Old Nan, Ros, Theon, Jon Snow, Ser Jorah. Just Winterfell in the north had a cast the size of the whole of House of the Dragon. We open up and it's another childbirth scene, this time with the princess, and it's long and brutal. I understand Roe versus Wade is an important thing in the US, guys, but it's not really an issue for most of the world, and I don't really like prolonged scenes of people suffering and crying out in pain. It's not my idea of fun. So the Queen orders the newborn baby brought to her. The princess doesn't seem to trust the Queen, and it's implied that there's been bad blood between them. I can't tell you what the bad blood was. It happened off camera during the 10-year time skip, and do I love that. Show don't tell tends to be a good idea, House of the Dragon. I do actually want to see the story. So the baby is shown to the King and Queen, and they both hold it. And as the baby's handed back, the Queen says to Sir Leonor, "Do keep trying, Sir Leonor. Sooner or later you may get one who looks like you." And, "Ooh, get her! Why have they made my Alison catty?" So this is maybe why the enmity has developed between the princess and the Queen. The Queen has been trying to get the princess ousted as heir due to her repeated infidelity. I mean, could the princess and her husband really not manage it? I know he's perilously gay, but has she tried cutting her hair short and wearing trousers? Has he maybe tried throwing spunk at her and hoping for a very lucky shot? How about if she tried to act more boyish? Has she tried blindfolding him and trying to affect a deep voice? How about if she talks like this? It'd be better than starting a war and getting everyone killed. And I realise now that I'm out of time again, so this will probably need a part 2. And there is good and bad to that. In the negative column, at this rate, I'm never going to get around to reviewing She-Hulk. In the positive column, at this rate, I'm never going to get around to reviewing She-Hulk.